back on the road again and heading to Effingham, Illinois, which I've never been to or heard of before. As I was walking around in Highland, when I first got out, my back really hurt, and it hurt to take every other step. I think it's because I've been in this car for the past 20 hours and I haven't really like fully stretched out. So I need to remind myself whenever I'm charging to maybe stretch, walk around. I don't want to get to a skate park and try to skate and not be able to. It's starting to sound like a broken record. I'm here at Electrify America. This is the third one I've been to, and this one also isn't working. The first one I went to didn't work and I couldn't get anything to happen. I called and they gave me a complimentary free session, and then I had to leave. The second one I went to, it wasn't working, so I called and they got it working again. And then this time I got to use my free session and I did that, so that was nice. This one couldn't get to work. I called them and they could not get it to go. So I have another complimentary free session. But I'm like spending 20-30 minutes on the phone just waiting to plug in and charge, so it's almost not worth it for me to be here. So Electrify America, you have great customer service, they're super nice, but your stations suck. What's the deal? Luckily for me, there's a charge station a few miles from here and another one a few miles from there. So if one of those don't work, I have something else to fall back on. But if I'm in a town and there's only one charge station that doesn't work, I'm kind of stuck there until I can fix it, or I can plug into someone's wall outlet and charge for like an entire day to get to the next place. Yeah, it's like going to a gas station and then just saying, oh yeah, we don't carry gas. No, we haven't had it for months, but we're not gonna fix it. Kind of scary. Because my life isn't stressful enough, I took a wrong turn on the highway and the next exit was 6 miles down the road. So it's gonna be like a 12-mile loop to get back to a near charging station. And yeah, so I may or may not have done an illegal U-turn. I didn't have those 12 miles, by the way.
Battery charge. Search for nearest charging station.
Yeah, so I'm going to make it there and it's gonna be like, I may not make it, I may make it, but if I did the whole thing and didn't make that U-turn, I would not have made it for sure. 7% left, and we have 6.7 miles to go. Okay, made it with 0 miles to spare, and I turned off the air so I'm all sweaty. And very luckily for me, I saw a Planet Fitness just across the street, so I'm gonna skate over there and work out for a second and then shower, and then I'll come back. Because this is gonna charge for like 5 hours. I'm not gonna take you guys with me to Planet Fitness because I don't need a camera with me while I work out, but I'm gonna shower and I'm super excited about that. The post-shower hair poof is real. All right, 4 hours later, back on the road, headed to Terre Haute, Indiana. There's a charge station there that's quick, except it's a Electrify America one. So this will be the 4th one I've gone to. 2 of them haven't worked, and they've all had error messages. So we'll see what this one's got. So there's been a running theme today, and that is me arriving to a place with 0 miles left. I was really scared because it was Electrify America and it may have not worked. Everything is roped off like that, and so I wasn't able to pull in. So I just kind of cattywonked it and it started charging, so we are good. I'm putting unnecessary stress on myself when I don't need to. Like this trip was 72 miles and I charged up to 87, and I'm like, that's probably good enough. And it was just barely good enough, but it's still kind of scary. And I may or may not have done the highway thing again where I went and it's like, oh, you're supposed to go this way. And then my GPS switches and it's like, oh, instead of 1 mile away, now it's 23 miles away. And we made it happen, so. But it's 7:46 now. All I've had today is snacks out of my little bag, so I need to get a meal in me. All right, car is charged. I went to the bathroom and went across the street and grabbed some food to go, and we're gonna head to Indianapolis. That's the next stop. All right, I know it's really dark and I'm gonna be just making it just barely again, but in my defense, I went somewhere else that was in the middle and it didn't work. So I tried to plan ahead this time and I just failed. So we're gonna be just barely making it into Indianapolis. Number 4 of today. All right, charge is done here in Indianapolis. My car is kind of almost overheated, so it only went to 73%, which is fine because my next place I'm gonna go is where I'll sleep. It's a slow charging station and it's only 40 miles away. So let's do that and then crash for the night. Last charge station of the night. It's at a charge point which I'm very familiar with and I already have an account with, so that's awesome. It's tucked away in the alley of a small little town, Rushville, Indiana. Very similar to Highland, Illinois. I don't think I'll be bothered at all here. So I'm gonna get all my window covers set up and then brush my teeth and go to sleep. It's 7:20 in the morning. For me it feels like 6:20, but I'm in a new time zone now. Last night I slept way better than the night before because I think it was colder outside and I got this sleep mask on, so it was dark enough for me. And then I bought a lighter blanket, and that was a lot better than that giant blanket because the first night I was super hot. So we're headed to Aurora, Indiana next, and then we'll soon be in Kentucky, Ohio. That's where I'm gonna be. All right, we're all charged up, and I'm wearing the same t-shirt as yesterday because I'm headed to a skate park. We are 37 minutes from the skate park, and that's in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where I've been traveling to. So I guess I'll come back to you guys when I'm charging again tonight. All right, my day of skating is over, and I went to Planet Fitness and worked out for a second and showered. Another big benefit to doing this whole showering thing at Planet Fitness is I get to stretch, which is something I don't get to do back there. So it's been really helpful, and skating today I'm pretty sore, so I wanted to definitely stretch before I slept. Not in the best conditions. So this charging station is at a Nissan dealership, similar to where we were back in Missouri. This one though, the charge station is like in the very back of the building in this dark kind of area. And it's free. So I'm excited and hoping that it's gonna be dark and calm and quiet for me to sleep tonight and I don't bother anybody. It's only 8 o'clock, so I'm just gonna chill and play some games, and then I'll set my stuff up, and I'm gonna try to sleep earlier tonight because I've been going to bed at like midnight or 1 the past couple nights. All right, it's the next morning, pretty early, woke up around 6 local time, so 5 a.m. local time for me, but whenever the sun gets up is when I'm up. I'm in a Walmart parking lot this morning rather than a charge station because the charge station I was at, even though it was free, it had a big light right above it, and so it was pretty bright. So I just moved over here. Walmart, I looked online just to double check. Walmart has publicly said, hey, people can stay in our parking lots. We would like you to buy something, but it's not like required. So I went and bought some food and then just chilled here and parked away from everyone else and slept pretty good. So this is my first morning not rushing off to the next destination, just getting to chill here for a second. And this is also my first time sleeping in my car without it being plugged in. So throughout the night I turned on the air when I needed it, and I used my phone, like the app, just to get it to pre-cool like you do before you get into the car, and that worked just fine. And this morning I like double tapped it and I saw that I had a low battery, meaning if I did this for a long time without being plugged in, then I could kill the car, or kill like the starting battery, not like the car's internal battery. So I just turned on the car, and I've used 1% being here for like an hour, so I'm totally okay just sitting here chilling with the air on. So it's raining today, so I can't do anything outside, and I'm meeting some friends later on, so that'll be fun. But before that, I'm going into the museum. I'm gonna bring the camera with me. I don't know if I'll capture anything, but it should be fun to just walk around and explore something new. So the museum was pretty cool. I got to walk around and do the dinosaur exhibit and then go do the space exhibit, and that was about it. There was like a children's part, and then you had to pay extra if you wanted to do any other exhibits, and it was kind of expensive, to be honest. Really beautiful in there. But yeah, now we're headed to Eden Park, and I'm just gonna walk around and chill. I've got a couple hours to burn. So the majority of the trip is done, and I'm headed back towards Kansas City. But this time though, I'm not gonna be going as straight as I did going out here. I'm gonna be going to Indianapolis tonight and trying to skate and venture around and stuff, not too much in a rush. And then I'm also gonna be going to St. Louis part of the way through and skating with a friend or just hanging out with him, and then I'll head back home. So I'm not going to document every single time I stop and charge my car like I did on the way up here. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you guys know, but I wanted to talk about the pros and cons from this experience of traveling and staying in your car. So first, let's just talk about traveling in an electric car over a long period of time, not even about sleeping in your car. So one of the pros is, for me, I didn't expect to go in all these small cities and enjoy myself as much as I did. Places that I would never have stopped if I was in a gas car, I would have driven right on by. You might travel and you can still stop at little spots like that if you have a gas car, so maybe I just have been traveling wrong. But traveling in an electric car, because of having to stop so many times, I've got to stop in places I usually wouldn't. An obvious con is you're very limited to 100 miles before you have to your next charge station. So I actually had a buddy hit me up and said, hey, if on your way back, if you want to come swing by in Louisville, Kentucky and skate, that'd be awesome. And I had to tell him no, because I can't find enough quick charge stations to get there. There are some slow ones, but that's going to be like an extra 12 hours on the trip to get down there, and I just don't have that kind of time. That and me being so like just barely making it to the next charge station and being unsure if it's going to work or not. I mean, it's nowhere near as reliable as a gas station, so that's a definite con. A big pro has been the cost. I've spent $24 and going 800 miles or something crazy like that. A lot of the charge stations were free, and the ones that weren't free had issues, and I got to do them for free because they messed up. So that was cool. One of the big cons that didn't affect me, but it could have if I kept driving farther, was that my car was starting to overheat because I was going from like quick charge to fully draining it to quick charge to fully draining it, and it had no time to cool down. So that was an issue that didn't affect me, but it could have if I kept going. With all that said, I think if you're gonna do a long road trip, a gas car just makes more sense. It's kind of made for that. Now the pros and cons about staying in your car versus staying in hotels. The first big pro is cost. There is no cost for staying in your car. I borrowed the sleeping mats from my brother. I know you probably would have to buy those, maybe like 30 bucks. And then blankets, which you probably already have. And then I bought window covers. I bought like a $10 one for my front window, 10 for the back, and then each side was 10, so 40 bucks. The point I'm getting to is all that is a one-time cost versus staying in a hotel. It's hundreds of dollars per night, or at least $100 a night. The big con about sleeping in your car is you only get to sleep there. You don't get to be able to stand and walk around. You don't have a place to wash yourself, go to the bathroom, any amenities, there's nothing. I will say that showering at Planet Fitness was just a great experience. If it's only like 20 bucks a month to get the black membership card, which I'm only doing for 1 month, and the bathrooms and showers are really nice and really clean and plenty of privacy. You have a curtain that you can pull in front of whatever stall you're showering in. Yeah, it was super good. A big con was that it was not very comfortable in here. With the pads and the blankets, it was still pretty hard, and with all the covers, it was still super bright, so I had a sleep mask on, and throughout the night that would fall off and I had to wake up because it'd be bright again. And I think because the car wasn't turned on, it wasn't doing all of its power and work to make the car cool like it does when you're driving, so I was only getting some air. So it was better than being outside, but it wasn't cool like an air-conditioned room. One kind of pro-ish that I wasn't expecting, because it was so bright in here and not very comfortable, I was waking up really early every morning, and I didn't have any desire to stay and rest in the bed because it wasn't comfortable. So I wanted to just go and explore and start my day. You're usually tired from traveling, and it's a dark room, it's a nice soft bed, and you're on vacation, so you have no like reasons to be up early in the morning, so you sleep in, which is nice. But waking up early every morning, I was up and doing stuff, and I was exploring a lot more of the city, so that was cool. So do I recommend sleeping in your car? It really depends on, one, if you're okay with being uncomfortable every once in a while or not fully stretching out. If you're younger, it's probably better than being older and having to deal with that kind of stuff. And if your trip isn't too long, if I was doing this for like 2 or 3 weeks, I would not want to do this. It'd be exhausting. All of my experiences are based on this one trip though. I'm sure if I took more, then I would kind of notice more things that are more common with every single trip. If you guys have done anything like this, traveling in an electric car or sleeping in your car, let me know what your experiences have been. I'd love to hear more about it. Okay, it's been a day since I've updated you. I'm on my way back. It's Friday. I'm in Highland, Illinois, the little town that I really enjoyed. And I just had the biggest scare of this trip. So it was 70 miles to get to this from the last charge station, and luckily I fully charged before I left. and there is a like carnival setup or getting set up on the street that the charge station is at. So there's no way for me to charge there. So if I had no miles, I would be done. And oh, so luckily I looked on my phone and the next charge station, if I keep on going, is 19 miles away. So I should make it. But man, there would be nothing I could do. I could plug into like a wall outlet and be here for like a day. But man, another scary thing. All right, so I just pulled into the Boonville charging station. It's at a car dealership. It's the exact same one that I came on the way here. And when I left 5 days ago, I wrapped it the way audio engineers wrap cables, over under, and not many people wrap cables that way. And I got here and it's wrapped the exact same way that I wrapped it. So I don't think this has been used since I've been here. This is the last slow charging station of the trip. It's about 10 p.m. and I'm about 40% charged. So I think I'm gonna try to wait till it's all the way fully charged, which might take a few hours, and then do the last hour and a half drive back home, and then I'm gonna sleep in my own bed. All right, so I'm back in Blue Springs, Missouri. It's about 2 in the morning. As I was pulling in, I had 0 miles. It's told me I've had this nothing for the past couple miles while I was still on the highway. So I got off early and just took side roads and tried to go really slow. And then I pulled to the charging station and it tells you what percentage you're at, and it said 0. But I made it, we're good. So yeah, I've still got a little ways to go. I'm gonna take maybe 20 minutes to charge, and then I've got a little ways to go home. I'm not gonna film because my wife is gonna be asleep and my dog is gonna be probably barking at me. I haven't told her I'm gonna be back tonight though. I told her I was gonna be back tomorrow because I thought I was, but I don't wanna sleep in my car again because it's not very comfortable, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this long video. I don't know how long it is, honestly. It's been like 5 days, 6 days. Fun experience. I'm sure I'll remember it. I'm glad I videoed this so I can remember it forever. So thank you for watching and God bless.